So this practice is a restorative practice, which is not something that I normally teach on the site or publicly these days, but it is something that I believe in really strongly. This will be something that you usually do on a Friday night or a Sunday night just to recover from the week, and it's really, really important for your nervous system. So it's mostly going to be lying in poses for an extended period of time and just letting your breath happen naturally. And you can fidget about a little bit if it's uncomfortable. But for the most part, you want to try to be still and to just let go, find ease in the pose and relax. So you're going to start lying on your back, and you'll need a bunch of props. And if you don't have a full set of props, that's okay. You can make do with other things. If you have a bolster, a blanket, 2 blocks, and a strap, you would start with that. If you don't have the strap, it's not terribly imperative. If you don't have blocks, you can always use some books to stack up underneath your knees or underneath your legs. And if you don't have a bolster, you can always use a blanket and just roll it up like a really big log, or you can fold a couple of blankets or a couple of towels and stack them on top of each other. Right? So you just need it to be a few inches in thickness. So once you're spread out on your back and you're able to feel comfortable enough to be mostly still, then start to focus on your breathing some. And at first you can take some longer breaths, just expanding them within your body. And noticing the qualities of your mind now that your body is still. And it might be really hard to hold still at first. And it's a choice whether you do it or not. And if you ease into holding still and just know that it will get easier the longer you do it, it will make it feel a little bit better. The more you fidget away from it, the more difficult it will be to sustain long term. Then just take a really big breath in through your nose. And then open your mouth, exhale, let your breath come all the way out. Feel really heavy as that's happening. And then do that again. Take another big, long breath in. And then open your mouth and simply relax. One more time, long, smooth breath in. And simply relaxing to let your breath come back out. And then just returning to in and out through your nose. You don't have to control your breath any longer. You can just let it be its natural pattern, soft, steady, even. Just letting your mind trace back to your breath every time you feel like you've lost track of it. And that's not easy. It's just like trying to hold still in your body. That's even easier than holding your mind on one point. But it's just constant, bringing it back, letting yourself find ease in the shape that you're in. And just do a little hip stretch from here. So just bend your knees. You don't have to move quickly. Put your feet on the floor. And then you'll cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Keep your right ankle flexed and pull your left thigh in for thread the needle. As long as your right ankle is flexed, your left leg can play dead for the most part here. Let your shoulders relax so your chest feels wide and you're doing minimal effort. You have some effort in your arms and your hands to hold your leg in, some effort in your right ankle to protect your knee, but the rest of the pose can be really relaxed. As you're here, if you can pull your leg in a little bit tighter as your hip releases, you can. And go back to just softly breathing in and out through your nose. See if you can visualize the muscles all the way around your right hip softening with every exhale. That same relaxation you did to let your breath come out, see if you can use it to soften your hip muscle. And then just unravel that side. And go slowly and cross your left ankle over your right thigh. And with minimal effort, again, pull that side of thread the needle in. And then again, once it's in, find a sense of ease in the shape that you're in. It might be a little uncomfortable in your hip. And try to hold still, to use your skills of relaxing and the skills of letting go. And they're most present in your exhale. That's just simply, you can force an exhale out, or you can simply relax your diaphragm to take an exhale. And so that feeling of letting go can exist in the bigger muscles in your body as well. So see if you can soften your hip, just letting it ease. And as you find that ease and letting go, you can choose to pull your leg in a little bit tighter and a little bit tighter to further stretch and open your hip. And guide your attention back to your breath if you lose it. Try to be aware of it happening in real time as often as you can. And then unravel that side and put your feet on the floor. Keep your knees bent. You're going to roll yourself off to your right side. And then once you've rolled off to your side, you're going to press yourself up to seated. Okay. And then once you're seated, we're going to do a twist, a little supported, restorative twist to start with. So you shift yourself forward on your mat some. Then you're going to take your bolster and place it behind you. If you don't have your bolster, you'll place your blankets behind you. And stretch your legs out in front of you. Okay. Then you're going to swing both of your legs off to the left, bending your knees. So once they're bent, your left knee, bend it to 90 degrees off to your left side, and then your right leg, bend that to 90 degrees as well. Good. And then you're going to start to turn your pelvis, turn your torso until you're facing your bolster. So turning yourself all the way around. And you'll take your legs with you as you turn. Eventually the edge of your right hip will hit the bolster. And then from there, turn your torso until your chest lies flat on top of the bolster or your blankets. If you turn your head to the left, it'll be a less intense stretch. Turning your head to the right is a little bit deeper. And then find a comfortable place. So you can always pick your pelvis up, move it out of the way some. Make sure your arms feel like they're just resting down around your props. And then close your eyes. And it's a pretty deep twist that you're in. So at any point, if it feels like it's pulling on your lower back or on your neck, come on out and shift yourself until it's not. But it is a twist, and it is going to feel like some opening in your upper back primarily. So let yourself relax into that sensation. Find the soothing sense of relaxation in your exhale. And just let yourself sink down into your props, into your mat. Again, if your mind is wandering off your breath, draw it back. And feel the sensations of your breath. And listen to the soft sound of it. Anything that's happening in real time with your breath that holds your attention. And then use your hands and slowly letting your head be the last thing to come up. Press yourself up to seated. Stretch your legs out in front of you. And then bend your knees off to the other side and you'll switch. And just like your hips are different from side to side, your spine twists one way a little bit better than the other. So if you need to adjust further on this side once you're folded down, then go ahead. Okay, head to the right is a little less twist, head to the left is a little bit more. And as quickly as you can, soften back into your props, into the floor. You can always take a little scan, working from the bottom of your body to the top or vice versa, looking for places you're holding on or gripping unnecessarily. You can include all the muscles in your face and your jaw as well. Try to find ease, relaxation, that sense of letting go, to just being okay with being here and being quiet. Gently guide your attention back to your breathing. And then really slowly use your hands and press yourself back up. And then you turn your chest to face the front of your mat. You're going to move yourself into a supported back bend. So if you had a blanket on top of your bolster, you can get rid of it, move it off to the side. If you have a couple blocks or a couple of books, you'll need ones that are the same height as your bolster. And your strap, you're going to use it to tie your legs together. So if you don't need to tie your legs together, you don't have a strap, it's perfectly fine. Right, so you'll sit up on top of your bolster this time. And then once you're up on top of your bolster, you just scooch yourself back so that when you lie back, your shoulder blades will be all the way down onto the floor. And you can set your blocks up so that your legs are rested up on top of them, just behind the backs of your calves. And then before you lie back, seeing as you don't have me there to do it for you, and tie your legs together with the strap if you're going to do that. Right? And you just want to tie them tight enough that you don't have to hold them together. Right? Make sure that the buckle's not touching your skin. It feels yucky if it is. Okay, and then once you're back, you can set your arms up like goalposts, just elbows bent, chest wide, and make sure again that you've scooched all the way back. So just like Carolina is, her upper back and her shoulders are touching the floor. And it should feel like a bridge pose in your upper back, but the rest of your body, because of the props, is in one long line. It shouldn't feel like any pinching in your lower back at all. If it does, you can always bend your knees and put your feet on the floor instead. And then again, so eyes closed, and just the shape that you're in will allow you to breathe into your chest a little bit more readily. But then find your exhales again, that sense of heaviness. And it's tempting to resist away from the props, especially in a back bend like this, to try to hold yourself up. The props are there to do all the work for you. All you have to do is lie here And you'll get the same benefits of doing an active back bend energetically from doing absolutely nothing but letting the props do the work. Back to your inhales and exhales. Sometimes it helps to find something interesting in them, some part of them that acts as a story for you to follow. For me, it's a lot of the time where I feel my breath moving. Sometimes it's my chest, sometimes it's my abdomen, but I find the place that it's most available and then watch that as if it was a really interesting, epic story that you were following. And again, just start with a couple of longer breaths just to wake yourself back up enough that you can move again. And then bend your knees and put your feet on the floor. Either keep your strap on your legs or you can loosen it and take it off if you can easily do that. And then reach your right arm up alongside your right ear and you'll roll yourself off to the right side off of your bolster and just pause there. And then after a couple of breaths of lying on your side, when you feel ready, use your hands and press yourself up to seated again and set up for your last restorative posture, Supta Baddha Konasana. So one of almost everybody's very favorite restorative poses. So you'll take your bolster and now you'll sit in front of it, much like you did when you did the twist. And I like to take a blanket and lie it lengthwise, the opposing way across the bolster, just as a pillow for my head. And then no matter how flexible your hips are, you're going to use blocks and put them underneath of your knees. And if you have a strap, it's really nice to use the strap to lengthen your lower back. This is a little bit of a back bend combined with a hip opener. And without the strap, it can sometimes feel a little bit pinchy on your lower back. So if you're going to use the strap, you'll put it around your head, around your torso, and then have the buckle somewhere where you can easily grab it to loosen it or tighten it. You'll wrap it around your feet and then move the back part around the back of your pelvis. And then tighten the strap up. Take the blocks and you'll put them underneath your knees. A lot of times blocks have little 45-degree angles on them, and you can tilt them on their side and they'll hold so that they're not digging into your skin. Okay, and then You can lift your pelvis up before you lie back, tilt your tailbone to the ceiling so you're not overarching, and then lie yourself all the way down. And once you're down, it should feel like the strap is pulling your pelvis away from the back of your head, lengthening your lower back out. And if it doesn't yet, you can tighten up your strap a little bit more until that happens. If it's too tight, you can reach up and loosen it. And then arms, you can have them wherever you like. I like to take mine out pretty wide so my chest opens a little bit more. And it should feel really good. There should be no tension, no pain, anything like that in this posture. And if there is, you can definitely fidget around and change your props until you find a position that's comfortable. And this is your final resting place that you're going to be for a little bit of time. Same as the other ones, but it's going to be considered your Shavasana as well. So make sure that you are definitely going to be able to be still. And then go back to now, no tension as best you can in all the muscles of your body. Just really let go. You can start always in your hips. Let your knees relax down into the blocks. And let your chest relax. Let the heads of your shoulders feel really heavy. Let your teeth soften away from one another so that your jaw muscles slacken. And if you're pushing your tongue into the back of your teeth or the roof of your mouth, you can just relax that back into your mouth a little further so it's not tense. And soften the skin across your forehead so that your eyebrows get a little bit heavier. And just notice if your eyes are concentrating on the backs of your eyelids. It's very common that that's happening. You can actually relax the muscles behind your eyes. So just consciously soften the muscles behind your eyes so that they relax back away from your eyelids and stop concentrating so hard. And then let go and let your mind drift back to your breath. It might be so relaxed and so quiet that it's almost as if it's not happening. And that's all right. It doesn't need to be deep. It just needs to be something available for you to focus on. And find rest there. Shavasana. Really softly take a few breaths that are a little bit longer. Just enough that you're softly waking your body back up, your mind back up. And try to keep that little bit of stillness and quiet that this practice creates, though. Don't be in a rush in any way. And then when you feel ready, bring your hands to the outer edges of your knees. Bring your knees in towards one another. And you can loop your feet out of the strap. And reach your right arm up again and roll yourself off to your right side. And pause there off the side of the bolster again. a moment ago. Use your hands, push yourself up to seated, and just sit up in a cross-legged seat at the front of your mat. Once you're there, let yourself become still again. And settle into the rhythm of your breath, its natural pace. And join your hands together in front of your heart. Lift your chest up, and then bow your head down. And then look up and open your eyes.